Today we'll be showing you guys how to replace the battery on your Apollo Pro 2023. For this repair, all you're going to need is a 5mm Allen key and a pair of flush cutters, and you should be good to go. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and remove the grip tape from our deck cover. Put this to the side. And then we'll go ahead and remove the 6 5mm screws that are holding our deck cover in place. So now with all the screws off, you can go ahead and lift the deck cover off of your scooter. Now you probably will not be able to remove the cover just by hand, as it is very tight. It's not impossible to get it off by hand, but we do recommend you use a rubber mallet and hit the back of the footrest to help get the deck just lifted up a bit more. Just like that. So now we'll be careful because there are connectors plugged in to not rip them. We'll unplug the connectors to our deck cover and we'll put our deck cover to the side for now. Next, we're gonna go ahead and locate our battery connectors, which are these two thick red and black wires. One of them is connected to the fuse and one of them is just blank, which is the black one. Next, we'll go ahead and unplug the charge port. Like that. Now there are going to be 4 5mm screws that are holding this bracket in place. We'll need to go ahead and remove them. For this, it is slightly recommended to use a power tool to remove these 4 screws, as they could be torqued down very, very tight, and it might not be possible to remove them with a hand tool. So we'll go ahead and just remove these 4 screws. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and remove our brackets. You may notice that the screws are still attached to the brackets. This is fine. This will help with making sure that you do not lose your brackets. Next, we can go ahead and lift our battery out of the compartment. Make sure none of our wires are tangled, and we'll disconnect the last connector. So now we could put our old battery to the side and grab our new battery. For the purpose of this video, we will be reusing the same battery. So before putting our battery back into the deck, we'll make sure none of our wires are in the way, and we will line up the battery with the inner compartment, making sure none of the wires are getting in the way. We could push down a little bit on the battery to make sure it's fully in its compartment. And next, we'll go ahead and just put back our brackets. We'll make sure our screw holes are aligned. If you are having trouble with this, you can remove the screw from the bracket all the way, and this will give you a better visual. Put back our second bracket into place. Try to line it up as best as possible. And now we'll screw in our bracket back into place. we will now go ahead and start plugging in all of our connectors again, starting with our charge port. Make sure our pins are lined up correctly, and then we will screw the locking mechanism for the connectors. Next, we can go ahead and plug back in our battery. Please note that when you connect your battery back in, it is normal that it will spark. This time it did not. We will tuck our wires back into place correctly and properly, just as long as we do not block the screw holes. So now we will grab our deck cover so that we may plug in the last few remaining connectors. Place the deck just like this, and then we'll first start with our green connector, which is for our IoT. Then we'll continue with our orange connectors, which is for our LEDs. All right. Now that everything is plugged in, we can start tucking our wires back into the deck so that they are not in our way when screwing everything back in. All right, and now we can start placing our deck cover back on top of the body of the scooter. While doing this, we'll make sure that none of the wires are getting in the way. When we're sure that none of the wires are in the way, we can go ahead and drop the deck cover, and then before putting the screws back, we'll make sure to check the holes of the screws to make sure that none of the wires are in the way. And now we can start putting our screws back. And now the final step is to just put our grip tape back onto the scooter. Make sure to line it up properly. And just like that, you have just successfully replaced the battery on your Apollo Pro 2023.